Hello everyone, welcome to the practical session on Lab Practices 1. I am Professor Mubin Tambodi. On today's practical session, we will see the experiment of Lab Practices 1. In this experiment, we download the iris flower dataset or any other dataset into the data frame. Then use Python R to perform the following operations. First, how many features are there and what are their types. Second, compute and display summary statistic for each feature available in the dataset. Third, data visualization, create a histogram for each feature in the dataset to illustrate the feature distributions, plot each histogram, and the last, create a box plot for each feature in the dataset. All of the box plot should be combined into a single plot. Learning objective of this experiment is to load the dataset into the workspace, to apply the basic analytical function on the iris dataset, and to plot histogram and box plot for data visualizations. In this experiment, I used Ubuntu operating system with version 20.04, Python interpreter version 3.7.4, which includes Python packages NumPy, Pandas, and Seaborn. The prerequisite of this experiment is Ubuntu operating system on which we are performing all the experiment. Other is editor. You can use any editor for this. In this experiment, I used Spyder as IDE or editor, and Python language is used as an interpreter to perform the operations. Now let us start this experiment with some theoretical concept such as iris dataset, UCI repository, data frame in Pandas, statistical function in the Pandas, data visualization using the histogram and box plot, and last is the Spyder editor. So let's begin with the dataset information. So for the experiment, we used iris flower dataset. So this iris flower dataset consists of the information about the various attributes of iris flower plant. This specific dataset consists of 3 classes of 50 instances each, where each class refers to a type of iris plant. The predicted attribute for this dataset is the class of the iris plant. There are the 3 classes are there. Very first is iris setosa, iris versicolor, and the last one is iris virginica. There are the total 5 attributes used in each observation. So very first is the sepal length, which is in centimeter, sepal width, petal length, petal width, all these are in centimeters. To download the dataset, we are using the UCI repositories. To visit the UCI repository, you just Google it, UCI repository, and then you will get the very first result. Where could you visit for the iris dataset, and you can see this kind of page over there. So the very first page is the basic information about this dataset. In this one, you must enter into the data folder where you could find the several files. You are concerned about 2 files only. Very first file is iris.data and another file is iris.names. Iris.data file is renamed with iris.csv, and you can find all the 150 instances over there having total 5 columns. Now let's move towards the next point, which is the data frame in the pandas. So panda is a library which is used in the Python. So there is a certain set of features for this data frame. It is a kind of a data structure, and potentially columns are of different types. Its size is mutable and it has labeled axes, all both x and y. So x-axis is labeled with the index, means all the rows, and y-axis is indexed with the columns, so which is also called as the attributes. We can perform the various arithmetic operation on this one. So to create a data frame, we can have the function data frame having the several parameters in it. So all these parameters are presented here. So data, index, columns, data type, and copy. Out of these 5, the very first data, which is the row column format of the data, which is in the form of ND array, series, map, list, dictionary, constant, etc. Index is corresponding to the row label, column is corresponding to the column labels, and data type represent the type of the data exist in each column, and the copy is the another command which is used to copying the data. In default case, it is false. Now next is to load the data set into the data frame. For that we have function read CSV in the pandas. So with these functions you can load the data set into pandas data frame. Initially our data set doesn't have any name, then you may add the column names over there with these parameter names. You can have another kind of functions over there. Shape is a one function which returns the number of rows and columns. You can also retrieve the row and column separately. Data type is another functions which is for the data frame, that is the D types. It returns the data type of each attribute. To get the statistical summary, we have the function describe in pandas data frame. So when we use this function, then the information retrieved for the data set is as shown in this execution. It returns count, mean, standard deviation, minimum value 25, 50 and 75. These are the quartile values which exist for the distribution of each column, and the maximum value. In this way all the statistical summary would get displayed. Next is the histogram plot. To plot the histogram, a hist function exists in the pandas.dataframe object. When you apply the hist function, it plots the histogram for all the features exist over there. You can represent the number of columns in terms of bin, so the distribution is divided into that number of bins, and then its count gets plotted on y-axis. In this way, in our experiment, you can plot the histogram for all the features. Next is the box plot. Before plotting this whisker plot, let us see what exactly this box plot is. The box plot and the whisker plot is a graph that presents information from a 5-number summary, and this type of graph is used to show the shape of the distribution, its central value and its variability. When we see this specific plot, then we can find over there total 5 numbers. Leftmost side we have the minimum value, and rightmost side we have maximum value. and in between that we have a box which has three values. First is Q1, next is median, which is also called as the Q2, and the last is the Q3. The range between Q1 to Q3 is also called as the interquartile range. With the calculation of this IQR, Q1 and Q3, we are able to find the minimum and maximum value. There is a fixed formula to get the minimum and maximum value over there. For minimum value, we have Q1 minus 1.5 into IQR. For maximum value, we have Q3 plus 1.5 into IQR value. If our point lies beyond this minimum and maximum value, then those specific samples or the points are called as the outliers. In this way, we have the box plot. Now let's look box plot using the Seaborn. So Seaborn is a library which can be used to plot the various graphs. It is useful in the data analytic visualizations. To use the box plot in Seaborn, you have to import the Seaborn library first, and then you can plot the box plot using the function box plot, where you can pass the parameter of x-axis and y-axis. The box plot is also possible with the help of matplot library, and that can be used from the data frame object itself. So we have again a function over there. The function is box plot. Under this function, you can pass the number of columns or the attributes for which you are going to plot the box plot. Now the next point is about the Spider editor. So Spider editor is used to write the programs. So this is the general layout of the Spider editor. In the Spider editor, we have a space where you can write the script. The right top corner, we have the another space where we can see variables, plots, file, etc. Below that, we have the console where we can write inline statements of the Python, or you can run your Python program under this. You also get the output under the console only. There is a toolbar. Under that toolbar, you can have the various options. Those options are for running the program, then debugging the Python program, then running line by line Python code. So these options are also available over there. Python is a very simple editor which can be used to write your Python script. It is one of the advanced editor exist. Next is the algorithm. These are the step-by-step procedure which you have to follow to perform the experiment. Now what we do first is download the dataset from the UCI repository. Next is load this dataset into the data frame. The third operation is we are using the different pandas function to find the data type of each attribute. We again find the count of different features, that is the attributes, and the number of observation. Also, we have to display the statistical summary. The summary includes mean, median, standard deviation, etc. Then plot the histogram for every feature for our dataset, and plot the whisker plot for each feature, and we can find it cumulatively also. Now next is the demonstration of the experiment. Now we'll look the demonstration about this experiment. Now let's start with the demonstration. Here I have written a program line by line from here. So initially what I did, I first of all create a new file by selecting this icon, new file, and then the new file is saved at its appropriate location. And you have to change the current working directory from the files menu, where you can go into the current working directory. In my current working directory I have this much files. So my program file is temp.py and my dataset file is iris.csv, and iris.names is another file which I am not using. In this iris.csv file is a dataset file. It holds all the rows, all 150 rows over there, and total 5 columns. First 4 are for attributes and last one is for the class. Initially there is no column header exist in the CSV file. So whenever we load that CSV file into our workspace, we must give the header over there. So while reading the CSV file into the data frame, I include the header name there while reading itself. So for that sake, what I do here, first I write very first statement using import pandas as PD. So what happened with this statement, the pandas library is imported into current workspace. The next statement is to read it out the CSV file into our data frame. So for that sake, the statement is pd.read CSV, here the name of that CSV file, and next is the names of the features. So I have all the feature names over there: sepal length, sepal width, petal length, petal width, and the last is class. So while reading, the header for all the attribute is considered this one in this list. So to execute it line by line, I can just select the line and then I go here and just put here the execution of the current line. If you want to execute the whole script in once, then you can just use this button to run your complete script file. Here I want to execute line by line code. So for that sake, I am using this icon. So first is the library is imported. You can see the change occurred in the console. In the console you can find the very first statement gets written and executed. Now the cursor is automatically updated to the next line. Now I want to execute the next line also. Now here you can see in the console window that statement gets executed, and now df holds the data frame object. So to see the data frame object, we can go in the variable explorer, where we can find the df object gets created. So it is the type of object is the data frame, and the size of this object is 150,5, and you can have all the value. If you want to see that, you can just double click on this, then a window gets opened, and under that you can find out all the attributes. So here is the sepal length column, sepal width column, petal length column, petal width column, and the class column. Here from the observation we can say that first 4 attributes are looking numerical attributes, and the last is some object type. It is also called as the string attribute. Here I have every row is labeled with index, so it starting from 0 and gets ended with 149. If we go at last, we can see there it is 115. So total 150 rows are there, and columns have the sepal length, sepal width, petal length, petal width, and class. So 5 columns are there. So in this way you can see this from the variable explorer. Now let's execute it, the next statement, where I have to read it out the features, feature counts, so number of features. So for that sake I'm using the function shape over there. So I'm just executing the next line. So after getting that, the features variable gets created with the shape of 1, that is the number of columns. So in this way we can gets executed that statement over there. Okay, here I make the comment on that, so commented gets executed. Now let's again execute this. Okay, now it gets executed and we have the new feature over here, that is the features, and now its value is 5. So as the 5 columns are there, so number of features are 5. Read it out over here. Now if you want to print it, the print statement is used. So I'm just executing the print statement, so it gets printed number of features equal to 5 at this place. Now similarly, if you want to see the number of rows, then just instead of 1 we can write 0. So we execute that and we again print that. So total 150 rows are there. Now to display the data types of all the features exist in the data frame, I have this next statement df.dtypes. So that is going to be executing now. So in this way I have here all the feature name, sepal length, it having the type of float 64, sepal width float 64 in this way, and class is of object type. So in this way we have found out the data type of each feature. Now to get the statistical information, we are using another function named describe. So we execute that. So in this way we can get the summary of the statistic for all the features. So here what feature is there, what features are there, and next is what are the statistic. So statistic is for count, mean, standard deviation, minimum value, 3 quartile values and maximum value. So that is identified for every feature. So we have the 4 features. So for all those 4 we have identified this summary statistic. Summary statistic is not displayed for the categorical type. Our last feature is class feature, which is of categorical type. So only statistic get displayed for the numerical data only. Now next is to plot the histogram. So for that sake we have function hist over there, and we consider the total bins equal to 3. So that again gets executed here. So in this way it gets executed and a plot gets constructed. Now the plot is appeared here in the plot section. So here is the plot. So in the plot we can have the histogram plot for all the 4 features. If you want to get the individual, you can pass the individual column name over there, so that it get displayed for each and every column. Here you can find out the total bins are equal to 3. So 3 columns are there. If you want to increase it, I'm just going to change here. I can also write the inline code over here. So I'm just writing the inline code for that. So dot hist, and I'm writing here bins equal to, suppose I'm writing total 5 bins over there, and I'm going to execute this. So I have the 5 bins gets available here. So 1 column, 2nd column, 3rd column, 4th column and 5. So total 5 columns are available for each feature. So in this way the bins can be used over there. Now next is about the type of box plot. So let us plot using the Seaborn library first. So to use the Seaborn library, we are going to execute this statement first. So to include the Seaborn, then set this background, and then we have to plot using this Seaborn. So just executing this statement, so it gets executed and we have the box plot for each feature here: Iris virginica, Iris versicolor, Iris setosa. Again here we can find, here is one outliers, here is the minimum value, this is the maximum value, and Q1, Q2 and Q3 value for each feature you can get. So in this way you can get how the features are distributed. So this can be for each and every class, this sepal length attribute get displayed. Okay, so this is the significance of this box plot using the Seaborn library. You can individually plot for its value. Okay, so for that sake what I have to do, for box plot for specific feature only, then I can execute this statement. So this is the box plot for individual sepal length. So this is for a single attribute over there. And now we can have the box plot for the number of columns over there using data frame function. Okay, from our pandas function. So box plot, df dot box plot in bracket and number of columns. Suppose I selected 2 columns over here, so I can execute this statement. So again I get the plot in this manner. So this gets plotted for the 2 features, sepal length, sepal width. Okay, so in this way you can have the box plot over there. So in this way we have executed all the questions which are asked in the experiment. In this way we perform our first experiment where the iris dataset is loaded into the workspace, and we found there are 4 features, and the last attribute is the class attribute, and we have total 150 instances in the dataset. We also display the statistical summary for every features, and cumulatively we see all the features using histogram and box plot. So visualization is possible with these 2 different plots. Histogram is frequency plot and box plot is the distribution of the values for every feature. Thank you all.